I sit and remember what it used to be like to walk up the stairs at Skip's house into the big ski chalet, second floor with the big roof that goes up, and we had a huge glass window that you could see the whole mountain on, and it was just us on that road at the far end, way in the back on the little hill in the house. 23 Hummingbird Way. You can find it on Google Maps if you want to see what it looked like. Wilmington, Vermont, right across the street from Haystack Mountain. I had that whole mountain to myself as a child. And then we had 207 Route 9 West in Wilmington. Before it became a storage facility. There was 40 cabins there and a 3-story barn, and we had a triplex and a trampoline behind the barn, and then we moved it into the field, but somebody showed up to ruin it, I guess, so we had to move it back behind the barn. Somebody was mad about us jumping on the trampoline in our yard. And then when Ace Hardware closed, WW, I would ride my bike alone, and I have this memory of speaking to a praying mantis in my mind right before a rainstorm when I was maybe 7. It's Skip's house smelled like old wood. I think it had green carpet, nice furry carpet on the bottom, and then the top was hardwood floors, and there was this nice table with chairs that had cloth, sort of like a hammock design where it's just cloth that you sit on, and it's tight so that you can sit there. And then there was a fireplace we didn't use, and a keyboard, and then there was a couch with a not very comfortable couch with a coffee table. I think the couch was yellow. And then there were 2 chairs right by the staircase that goes back down. And they had Skip Morrow books, which is cool because his name was Skip. We called him Skip. And then my Legos. And Skip's room had a balcony. And there was a huge wraparound porch around the giant window that had a grill on it. And you could stand out there in the sunlight and look out at the forest and at the big mountain, and there was nobody else around. Last time I saw that place, I was just around the wrong people. My fear of abandonment causes me to continue relationships with people that don't deserve to even know I exist. You guys will never know what this is like. Today was the worst crow attack I've ever experienced. I tried to sleep to escape it, and they infiltrated the dream, And then they flew right there, and it was a robot to wake me up from the dream. It went, and it wasn't a crow call, it was some metal speaker. That's technology we don't have access to yet. That was able to cut in, and we're using frequency. They were consciously able to move in and start doing things in my own mind, casting spells over me that's like I no longer exist. And then they want to possess me, to infiltrate me and control me. And they're always here. They never go away. And I never forget, but I'm able to delude myself into a story that I love for a little while to keep it going. Because as soon as I hit that high note, then I'm aware. And then I go to make a decision, the crows come back to do it again and 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 again. And I can't scroll away. If I tried to walk away, I was attacked. And then I started to beat the people that would attack me. So then the only people that could attack me were cops and people that hide and use their phones. Can't get them. They hide behind the legal system. Then I learned how to ignore them. And then they killed the only person I care about. He woke up one morning and said they're going to kill me. And then he died within an hour. Right when I had cut off everybody, realized how I had beat the cops, I'd beat the cunts, beat the creeps, I'd beat the crows. I had finally severed ties with fake friends, gaslighting narcissists. I even stood up and conquered the motel. I was setting a good example, and I was fighting every day because I never stopped. I don't know any different. I know fighting and I know hiding. If I'm not hiding, I'm fighting. And if I'm not fighting, I'm just waiting for them to finally kill me. And all I do is fight to be in a space where I can be free to make the song. And then when I have the song and I can see it, then I can start to shape it and make it better. And then I start trying. And then the hairs all start to stand up. I start to see flashing lights. Something's just out there. The warning. And then I would just keep going. You don't know how many times where there's an alien out there or a demon, and it's like if you make the wrong decision, who knows what's going to happen? They just are there. And I go, how lucky could one guy be? As a fellow once said, ain't that a kick in the head? The room was completely black. And some days I can open up and it's constant. I'm always looking for there's going to be 1 second. If I just keep staying focused 1 second, the universe will tick in a way where I'm finally able to flow again. And I can come back, and some days I get it for a little while before the crows come. Where I'm back in a way where I can focus as I had before it was taken from me. And they locked me in some type of prison that my mother perpetuates with gaslighting, psychological torture, trauma, using my family against me, trying to destroy any sense of support I may be able to get that doesn't align with the will and intentions of the things they're addicted to. They're threatening me. You heard it? Something through something. Don't fight back against the programming while they try to continuously infiltrate, destroy, change, painfully, keep me from grace, which is what I wanted to call this place. Acacia's Grace Sanctuary. If I could just find one rich person. There's a cabin 20 miles from here that they rent out for $30,000 a month, right by Killington. It's a barn that they converted into like a 3-bedroom apartment right on the mountain, and it's $30,000 a month, and people are living there. But those people call the police when I spit on the ground, and they feel a bad vibe because they need to show me who's in charge, who's in control, who's the boss, and they weaponize drunk pedophiles on the police force. Because if anyone challenges their feeling of superiority because of their wealth, they might feel something and recognize that they're just as lost as the rest of us, but they have access to more vices. So there's a lot more potential for them to feel ashamed when they get off their jet skis, because they left this world behind that I'm living in full time. They don't know what it's like. Some of them have never experienced poverty. Some of them don't know danger. Something really didn't like that. I'm safe, I'm protected, and I'm blessed. I'm leaving this tub of food, so tomorrow I'm going to go out there and leave it before I leave. I'm going to leave a huge thing of food out there. I only am upset with the crows because they won't leave me alone. Every time I fought like hell to get roadkill off the highway, many hundreds of times. I went and put it in the forest. If I could, I would free everyone. Something's here. I know when the aliens are here because everything starts to get pulled upward. The bird is freaking out at the edge of the perimeter. It's just like a wave. Like wax on, wax off. When I wax on, I can communicate with them all. I know what I'm when I'm brave enough to. But they really, they don't. You'd think. I mean, I told you guys that I used to drive back roads and leave this universe, and I would travel through the multiverse driving, where I would just drive and drive and drive and drive and drive and go down random roads at random times and just speed and stay in the music until I could warp myself into a different multiverse dimension, and then I warped into a side parallel universe, and I went down the road and on a big sign on some random back road in the middle of nowhere in green letters, someone had spray painted "We heart you, Casey." And then I took a picture of it, and then a week later my phone broke, and it's just sitting over there with the picture in it. So if any of you are real, you have to understand how important that makes you. If you are actually real in a world where King's Cross, 9 3/4, Casey Rocket, Kendrick Curry, Kirkaz, Kai Cenat, Casey O'Brien's the national women's hockey champion, the KCC won the Super Bowl. Frank Castle gets with Cat Williams, William Montgomery, Casey Rocket, Adam Ray killed Tony. I know what's out there. I met it last year. Last year. It was with the deer. It follows the deer around, works with them. No, no, no. I just yell at crows. I help the birds. I feed the birds. I feed the squirrels. I leave food out. They don't need to threaten me. They must feel like I'm the colonizer. Or they don't feel anything other than they want something that I have. I heard a body. And I'm going to have to just eventually the phone to go off. I've taken off running before. I've had them follow me 7 miles down a mountain in pitch black. And I didn't have light. I had to walk down using the stars glow. Carrying a mile marker. Then when I tried to give up, Spears encouraged me to keep going. And a UFO revealed itself to me. And I recorded the video, and nobody said anything. Because either you're not real, or you're some of the most pathetic people on Earth. On planet Earth. But I'm sure that because my name means brave, maybe everyone else is just too cowardice to think about it, or too conniving to admit it. Or they're worried that they could get targeted like I am. As soon as you hit the subscribe button, and they're here, you just can't, they're in a dimension that you can't perceive. They're wrapped around with their tendrils in my brain. It's getting a lot colder, and the air is getting a lot more stale. I'm safe, I'm protected, and I'm blessed. Oh, they're coming in.